What's happening, guys? This is our daily awesome podcast. We're in the 70s of this podcast already. We just started it 2 months ago, so that's pretty fucking badass. Now, here's the deal. This is about jujitsu, this is about life, and this is about women. And we're talking about this right now in our call on June 28th at 10:30 p.m. on our Men's Development Excellence call. These podcasts all come from calls. They all come from us interacting with a group, as men. That is why if you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever, Podbean, and you're following us on YouTube, man, what you got to do is click that free stuff link down below. It's going to help you out big time. This is all free stuff that is meant to help men who've been working on their lives. So we've had this group actually since 2009. We're nonstop every Wednesday night, every Sunday, now on Saturdays, now also on Fridays, now also on Thursdays, now almost every day of the week. We meet up, we talk on the phone about bettering ourselves. This group also created all those PDFs you can download. The Way of the Sexual Man, the text messaging guide, the older men dating younger women guide, the guide to better sex, fast escalation, man, just all sorts of, relationships, everything that you could imagine, because we were all working on ourselves and usually starting with dating and sex first. But if you're in a relationship or that stuff doesn't interest you, you can find the good stuff. So free stuff linked down below, and you can also join our Austin Men's Development Group. It's badass. It's good. And now a lot of guys here train jujitsu. I'm not sure why, but it's good. I think everybody should do it, or some martial art. In fact, a lot of the information that came from this was the guy talking about boxing as well. So anything where you're getting physical. But the reason why we brought this up is because there was a guy who was saying, like, man, I'm not getting laid. I just want to fuck tens. I just want to, have the ideal relationship. I want the best. I want an Ivy League academic in a supermodel's body. And that's what's going to make me happy. See, the thing is when guys are saying that, first off, you don't know. You don't know. Every guy wants that. And every guy should want something that they want. They should want those things. But as we experience life, we realize that that want doesn't get us anywhere. The greatest way to remain skillless in your martial art, whatever you pursue to do, is if you're a white belt and you're only fighting black belts. And the reason why, you'll still progress, and they'll help you out. And they'll help you out in some big ways. But if they're really rolling with you or fighting you in whatever martial art it is, they're always beating you. You're never able to get a grasp on what this is. And part of your growth, in especially training a martial art or training something that has to do with your entire body, your mind, your emotions being involved in it, what is so important about it is you need to train with people better than you, the same as you, and not as good as you. And when you're brand new, there's nobody who's not as good as you, or usually that's the case. But the reason why you need that is because you need those wins. You need to be challenged with people on your level. In fact, I rolled tonight, and I was rolling with other blue belts. I'm a blue belt. I've been training for 6 years, and man, wow, it's almost 7. So I've been training for 6 years. I trained a lot in the last year and a half, and there's different times that I took off. But these guys who were also blue belts, one of them had my back for 5 minutes. Couldn't tap me out. I was happy about that, but also I couldn't escape from it. These are all holes in my game. Had I been rolling with somebody who had more experience, they could have gotten me like that, and that happens all the time. There was another guy where the same thing happened, right? Or I was only tapping guys out with certain moves that I'm really good at, and they're clearly not. So one of those things is like, I'll play a lot of no-gi. This gym, I wasn't heel hooking, but I'll do those things. A lot of guys aren't used to them. So because I have more experience in it, I'll be able to get it quicker. Right? And I also know very well that guy, because I've rolled with some very experienced, like guys who've done catch wrestling, or guys who've done, who play heel hook games and so on. They can defend against them. They can defend against my stuff because they have more experience. So we're always finding this stuff out, right? I got to roll with people that are better than me. I've got to roll with people that are the same as me. And I've got to roll with people that aren't as good. When this comes to life, this is why this is important. I'm sorry this took so long to get there. You need wins. What's going to motivate you isn't a pep talk. What's going to motivate you isn't going to be hearing about somebody else. It's not going to be a podcast. It's going to be going out there and you winning and you being able to win. If that means you're winning at a lower level, that's what you got to do to motivate yourself to stay in the game, so you get the experience, you get the knowledge, you get all the things necessary to rise to the top. You can't just jump there. And if you do, the challenge wasn't easy enough. At anything that you're going to excel at life in, You need to, absolutely have to get those wins. So when that comes to women, is there gentlemen talking here? I only want to fuck tens. I don't want to do, dude, you don't get sex. Because I'll tell you this, good sex is way different than what you think it is when you're not getting laid. Duh. Should make sense. But good sex, your sexuality, what's going to make you happy with your sex, just sex alone, but also your relationships, how you are socially with people has way more to do than your desperation talking of just saying you want to fuck tens. Is way more than that, right? And if you're so warped by it because you've bought into too much pickup stuff or watched too much porn or whatever it is, that you now can't get hard unless it's this certain particular way, you got to override that. You got to get past that, but you got to get those wins. You've got to get those wins. You've got to. If you're trying to start a business, get that sale. Man, I cannot say this enough. What makes somebody stay in business is that they get a sale. That's the number one thing, or at least in my style of business. You got to get that sale. You always have to know how to have that skill. That always has to happen, or you don't eat. Or you don't pay for your insurance, or you don't pay for your internet bill, or you don't pay for whatever else. You have to get that sale. Always get the sale you can get. Sure, I get it. Capitalism says charge people as much as they'll pay, that you should get as much as you can, that you can repeat it, that all of the theory is that you make money or you create a product and sell it for more than you made it and repeat it and repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Man. But if you can't get that sale, if you can't get that cash, if you can't generate that drive, you're not there. You always have to do it. You have to do it whatever way you can do it. And then there's all sorts of theory which backs that. But that theory may sound great. It may sound great when Gary Vaynerchuk's saying it or Ty Lopez or any of those guys. And I actually like a lot of stuff that Gary Vee says, but guys that listen to, I don't have time to listen to him. Every time I hear something, it's good. But I don't have time to listen to him. I got to work, man. I got to do my own thing. That's why I actually like what he has to say, because I think he's talking about some for real shit. But you got to make that sale. You got to make that bread. You got to get going. You want to lose weight? You want to cut your fat out, get healthy? Man, do whatever you can at first to lose that first weight. You got to break yourself to do it. These are the baby steps necessary for success. If you're a white belt, you got to roll with those white belts. If you're a blue belt, you got to roll with the blue belts and the white belts. You also got to roll with the purple, brown, black, and so on, man. You got to be able to do that. You have to be, and you have to see it as a joy, and everything is an invitation. I'll say this. The other day, I rolled with somebody, and they complained about me. And it sucks. I don't want to fuck anybody's life up. I don't want to be an asshole to them, but they complained about me. That sucks. I apologize to the guy, all that sort of stuff. But let me tell you this. I love it every time I roll and I push myself and that person pushes me, and I'll go a little bit rougher, maybe not the most, but if they grind on my face, if they're sticking elbows in my jaw, sticking elbows in my throat, elbows in my eyeball, putting full pressure on that, using head pressure, if they're going for catch moves, if they're going for things which are really that hard, as long as I'm able to learn and ask them how to do it, how to defend, man, it helps me out so much. And there used to be a time when I got mad about that. There used to be a time where if a guy just went for heel hooks on me or did things that I didn't know, I was upset about. As soon as I fucking learned them, as soon as I played the game, as soon as I got into what the agreed upon rules were, man, it made life a whole lot easier. I had to get those wins. I had to build that confidence. But I also had to know that it wasn't all just wins. It wasn't all just ass kickings, and it wasn't all just stalemates. That there has to be all three of those flavors going in my life. So whatever it is you want to start, get those goddamn wins. Don't be afraid to step up to the giant and lose. Don't be afraid to sit with somebody at your own level and go through a certain time where you're still active, but you may not be challenging yourself in the same way. Or sometimes in those situations, you challenge yourself more. That's very, very important. Some of the greatest things about jiu-jitsu are there's obviously that dynamic that I just described always happening. But what's so much better is there's pure reality. If somebody's better, they're better. If somebody taps me and I wasn't going full speed, I can't make an excuse. I wasn't going full speed. I don't know. They beat me. They're like, you get exhausted. You get to the point where you know your body and you see who you are. You can do it slow. You can do it paced. You can do it really aggressive. You can do it in all sorts of different ways. But the important thing is is that you're doing it because it's something that's alive in you and alive all around you. It's a funny thing. There used to be this guy I trained with. He was a brown belt. He's a black belt now. And he said, he goes, man, the mats are alive. I take a few months off and the whole game changes. My game changes. My perspective changes. And I hate to just keep it about jiu-jitsu, but it's just such a relevant thing with us. But this is anything. Anything you do. Any form of excellence. You're starting a business, stop thinking about it. Stop writing about it. Stop making a business plan. I've never had a fucking business plan in my entire life. And maybe that might show in some ways, but guess what, man? I've been in business 11 years. I've made over $1 million doing this. It's crazy. Now, not all at one time. That built up, right? You got to get in business. You got to make that sale. You've got to be able to put yourself in front of people. You have to accomplish the tough goal, but in the easiest possible way, stepping up to it, right? It's true what they say, man. Just those little footsteps leading to the horizon, they all add up. So get on the road and actually walk on that road. Make that sale. Get that win. Doesn't matter if it's easy. I don't care if you're not challenging yourself. You got to know what it's like to motivate yourself to be the best person. So if this is something where you want to be around people that are talking like this and doing this and actually active on it and holding each other accountable to it, because that's such an important thing, Austin Men's Development, go there. That is the free board. So there's a lot of free board advice, but it's also a lot of expert advice. You're going to have to sift through it. There's also our PDFs. There's our calls. If you want to join those calls, you can join it at the starter level at $20 a month, or you could bump it up to the Men's Development Excellence level, which is $60 a month. You get so much, man. You get multiple calls a week. You get to interact with people, and you just get access to our Men's Development Excellence board, which is just off the hook. In any case, I want you to succeed, but you got to want it too. We have a community right here waiting for you. Take it or leave it. Or you can sit there, do the same old thing, get the same old results. You don't have to do that shit, man. Step it up. All right. Daily Awesome. Talk to you soon.